Oh, shit.
Oh my goodness, man. That was the smoothest drumming I've heard. And I got the best front row seats, man. I'm sitting right here. That was so good. That was unbelievable. Ladies and gentlemen, Stanley Randolph.
What's up, world?
Killer
me
job,
to the
man.
70s.
Yeah, killer. Bring it back to the 70s. Killer job, buddy.
Thanks, man.
Thanks for coming out to Drumeo, man.
For sure, man.
Yeah.
You guys are awesome.
Oh, thank you. Well, we can't do it without drummers like you. And like I said, this is what we love doing, bringing guys like you out to share your knowledge. And that's what today's lesson is about. Tips and tricks for the funky drummer.
Yes, it is.
You're one of the funkiest, man.
Hey, I'm trying to be, man.
Yeah, you sure are.
I'm trying to be.
If you guys don't know Stanley Randolph, he's been playing with Stevie Wonder. How long for now has it been?
9 years.
Wow.
Yep.
So you're Stevie's guy.
Stevie's got.
That is awesome. Doesn't get much better than that. So we're going to have a lot of fun on this lesson. And like I said, if you guys have questions for Stanley, get them in. We'll get to those towards the end. But Stanley, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? When did you start drumming? And
So, man, look, I have a similar story, to most guys. Started in church,
yeah,
young age of 5. Really started playing in church for real, 8 years old.
yeah.
And then, got into marching band in school, jazz band, did all of that. Loved it all. Loved marching band.
Yeah.
Big part of my playing. Real
Okay.
talk. Then, actually, I stopped playing drums for a while, for 4 years.
No kidding.
I was probably like 18.
Yeah.
18 until I was like 23.
Yeah.
I stopped playing drums. I was actually only playing keyboards and stuff. I tried to do other instruments.
No doubt.
Yeah, I didn't play drums at church or anything. I didn't do no drum gigs. It's just like all keys.
No kidding.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. But I picked it back up. Met up with my homies, my Memphis homies, New Genesis.
Yeah.
My band. Met up with them. Man, we started that band. Started doing all types of gigs over Memphis. We ended up in LA. We loved LA so much that we was like, yo,
Stay here.
we gotta move here, man. Like, yo. So pretty much moved to LA. Start connecting with people. I love LA. Best move ever. Best decision ever.
No kidding.
Yeah. And the rest is, a blur.
No doubt, man.
Playing from artist to artist to artist. Just
Touring
developing
with Stevie
myself.
Wonder. Now you're here at Drumeo.
Yeah.
So cool, man. Well, we'll get to it very soon. By the way, just so it's not just an interview with me, because all the members are out there watching.
Oh.
Just for remember that's where everyone
I'm
is.
looking at you guys.
There you go.
For sure.
But huge thanks to obviously DW Remo for
Oh.
setting us up with those heads. Remo, thank you so much.
Remo.
Zildjian, Vic Firth, Drum Dot, and Ahead Cases is who you're with.
Mm-hmm.
Great, man. And if you guys are watching this for the first time or you're watching this on YouTube, Drumeo Edge, we do this kind of stuff all the time. And we have guys like Stanley coming out, filming. You're going to be filming a course with us tomorrow.
Yes, I am.
Basically on more funk independence and funk-oriented drumming. And we're also doing a Q&A for him tomorrow for Edge members only. And you can sign up for a free 30-day trial at drumeo.com/trial.
Sign up.
Come hang out with us. We're just a community of drummers that's very supportive.
We got a spaceship in the back.
It
takes us back to the 70s or the 60s, you know, like wherever you want to go. It's in the back.
It's in the back. We'll go on that after this lesson.
For sure.
All right, so I'll leave it at that, man. And I'll let you give us some tips and tricks for the funky drummer.
Tips and tricks for the funky drummer. Here we go.
Man.
So, what I want to show you guys today is an exercise that I do to make a funky groove. Here we go. I'm gonna play like this. It's a pattern of 1 through 5 on your foot, so it's like this. Now what I'm gonna do to it is I'm gonna add some ghost notes on the snare drum. Check this out. I'm gonna add some ghost notes as well.
What are you doing on the bass drum?
Oh, well, it's a pattern. It's one. Yeah.
So 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, back down.
Okay, cool.
For sure.
Yeah.
And, you know, I pretty much just add a funky groove with it. And after that, I add dynamics and, you know, kind of make it, you know, feel good.
Okay.
So, I want to teach that to y'all. I'm going to slow that down. I'm going to play that a little bit slower. Yeah. So, something else I want to show y'all to make it funky. I know a lot of people ask me how I do the rolls, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How they're so simple, but
they sound so good.
it's new. It's to me, you know, it's a feel-good thing for me. So one thing that I have done is a lot of times I don't do all singles. I'll do doubles, maybe something, or I'll flam it out. To make it dirty, because I feel like, you know, it's too simple for me.
Okay.
So to give it some dirt, I put a flam on it. I'm gonna play it in the groove. Also, what I do when I'm doing that, I add the kick drum. One thing about one of those type of rolls, you never want to lose the kick drum. The kick drum is the hook, and it's gonna drive the whole time. You know what I'm saying? The kick drum never, ever loses. You know what I'm saying? that's cool. Also, one more other funky tip I want to show these guys.
Okay.
The snare drum. The way you tune your snare drum. The way you... This is a character. This is a personality. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, the way I tune my snare drum, I have the bottom a little bit tighter than the top. The top head, usually one of the ways I tune it is because I want it to sound as if when I turn it off, it could be some type of timbale or conga or some type of percussion instrument that I could use when it's off. And once I get a good tone, it's kind of low, but not too low, you know, I love these guys, drum dots. These right here, I put about 4, maybe 5, and I do it like in a diamond type shape, you know, if you can see it. To deaden it, you know. Try to get the snare as dead as I can, but it still kind of responds. Oh, hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy. It's the drum, yo.
And so, yeah, I do that. And also another thing I do is on this side snare, the reason why you get the low and the smack is because I play a lot of the rim. So that way, you know, it's just when you turn the snare on, it's just got that dirt. You know what I'm saying? It's got that old funky dirt. Got that dirt. And also if you take that technique and add it to the toms as well sometime, you know, hit the rim on the toms a little bit sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And put some dynamics in your rolls. Along with keeping the kick drum going.
Yeah, I know what you're
You
saying.
get that funky feel. You get that funky feel for sure.
Yeah, man.
I have one more thing. I usually, I put up these clips, you know, on Instagram. And usually, you know, I love playing with a percussion player, you know. I love playing with a whole band because you have so many parts going on that you can just play off of while keeping the groove. That makes it fun for a drummer. Pocket doesn't have to be boring.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It can be that. It can be that, but if you can have a guitar player, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can have different parts from different people in the band, you know, whatever. So one thing I do like, I love playing with the percussion player.
Yes.
I love it. So sometimes I don't have one. So I know people see me putting up clips where I'm adding my own thing all the time. So I'm going to play some of that stuff and show you how I do it. Got his own part. Once he's got his own part, he's free to do whatever with his hand.
Very cool.
So, one way, I'm trying to figure out how did I learn how to do this. One way that I did that I learned how to do that, man, I used to practice independence every day. For a while, I used to love to try to get four-way independence and But one thing I had to do is I learned how to slow it all the way down because it's a part. And sometimes I will only play it on the pad. And I knew if I can make it funky, I can play it on the groove. The points where I figured it out. I'm sorry, I have one more tip.
This is great, man. You keep
One more
going.
tip.
Yeah, no, keep going. Bring all the
Check
tips
this out.
together.
The way I hold my sticks, man, I want to tell a lot of drummers, you don't always have to, bash on the cymbal or whatever. It's all about the dynamics of the whole, the whole grill, you know what I'm saying, the whole feel. One thing I do is, usually when I'm playing pretty hard, I hold my sticks at the end. Pretty much hold them at the end. When I'm doing more of I like to hold my sticks in the middle. And I like to let it bounce on its own, that's your help.
Yeah.
It helps you out right there. Also, it makes just that change, It's funky and it's subtle.
So just kind of repeat what you were saying while you're playing there, just in case some of the members couldn't hear it while you were playing.
Yes. So what I was saying, once you get the groove like this, I basically make sure that I hit. That's the pattern. That's lock the pattern. That's the thing that's never going to change. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. So people are focused on. They don't know it, but they know it.
Yeah.
They hear that. You have all of this space before you hit that to work in cool syncopations, different accents. You might hear the keyboard player doing something up here that you can play with, make it funky with.
Yeah.
As long as you hit that.
That's all that matters for that.
All that matters. It locks it in. It locks the groove in.
Yeah.
It feels good to me.
Sounded great.
Thank
I
you.
didn't want you to stop there.
Oh man.
You get in this trance. I don't know if you guys are watching. You get in this trance, but
Yeah,
start
that's-
bobbing your head.
That's what I like. It feels good.
Right. Yeah. You were saying that you practice independence all the time.
Yes.
What kind of things did you practice?
I can show you this exercise that I did. That's a good question. Show you this exercise that I did. It started off with my feet, with my foot. My feet, yeah, my feet. I got this idea. I want to give credit to the right guy. I got this idea from Terry Bozzio, so it's probably pretty much similar to his. But yeah, after I got that, I added on the thumbs with my right hand. I added up along with it. I got that down. And then with this hand, I decided, I want to add something else. So I'm gonna play that groove. I did that,
Nice.
And then I said, you know what, man? I want to add another part in there.
Okay.
So I added one more part. I'm going to show you guys this part. And then I'm going to really slow that one down because it's...
Cool exercise.
Yeah.
Wow. So your hand's doing a very syncopated part. Your left hand.
Yeah.
On the snare.
Yes. Very single part. And then you mix the bazoo up, Play the part, play the part, then add that in there, Yeah. Make it funky. Some cool stuff,
Love it, man.
And then once I started doing that, and one more other trick I did was, I've been playing the left-handed way for a while. Now, back when I was younger, I challenged myself at this church I was playing at, I challenged myself. I turned the whole kit left in the rehearsal room. And I would play every rehearsal left-handed.
No kidding.
So that way I could learn how to play it left-handed. So that way when I got to putting this side together, because I wanted something a little more funky with my setup that I had over here already.
Yeah.
It was easy for me to go left already. Open. Even though the feet are pretty much the same.
Yeah.
My hi-hat is still over here.
I don't know if you guys can see on his foot cam. I don't think you can, but he's got his auxiliary hi-hat on his right foot.
Yeah.
Or his left foot, sorry.
It's the left foot.
Yeah. And then a slave pedal onto the bass drum with his right foot.
And usually Usually this will be another kick drum.
Yeah.
But we have it set up to the double, which is just as good.
Yeah.
It feels great. So, but it's still the same. The only thing is going everything to the left, which feels really comfortable to me anyway because it simplifies yourself, you know.
Sure.
Usually when I'm on this side, man, I just, the notes come out of me.
Yeah.
But usually on this side, it creates this discipline that it makes me want to stay right here, you know?
Sure, yeah.
And it adds character to what the drums already sound like. So.
Yeah.
So that's a tip for sure. If you guys ever want to do something like this, I think it's cool to set a kit this way and have a kit that way, whatever, Set up as many kits as you want.
Yeah.
But try playing the drums to the left because when you switch it around and play it to the right, your other limbs, they get used to, doing other stuff different ways.
Yeah, comfortable with one setup. This opens the doors.
Yeah, it opens doors for sure.
Got a question for you.
Awesome.
What do you think the biggest tip that you can give to drummers out there that are maybe rock drummers or beginners if they want to get into funk? Like, what would you say the best thing that they can do or the best thing they can practice or just general tips for them?
I studied a lot of music. A lot of music from the 70s, 80s,
Yeah.
I listen to a lot of Stevie. I listen to a lot of James Brown. I listen to a lot of your mentors, a lot of drummers who do the funky stuff. Bernard Purdy, you guys had him here.
That's right. Yeah.
Listen to Steve Jordan.
Yeah, he's
funky,
sick.
man.
Very funky, yeah.
I would definitely listen to a lot of guys, listen to them and take it in, and then just take a break. And, take a break, take some weeks away from listening to everything, and you practice what you heard and let it come out of you naturally, And that way you can create your own sound. That way you're influenced because you heard it, it's in your mind, it's in your spirit. You're influenced by, what you heard. When you take a break from it and you just go in your drum room and you just play by yourself, just do your own thing, you'll get it for sure. It's a vibe, it's a feeling.
Yeah. You do a lot of cool hi-hat stuff. You do a lot of cool ghost note things with your drumming. Do you want to show us maybe some of those cool little things that you do in there? Because that really makes your groove stand out. For
sure. A cool little hi-hat. First of all, some of the funkiest hi-hats are a pair of 16 K Zildjian light hi-hats. Those are just big, funky hi-hats. Usually the way I play my hi-hat is I play it to the side like this to get the attack of the stick right here. Get the attack of the stick right there. So play it on the side, just like that. That way when I do, I can just land right on it, still on the side, which causes this sound. Now, once you get that, it's also a mixture of, you got to catch it with your feet. You got to get that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To make it funky.
Very cool. Yeah.
Awesome. So that's a funky way to do hi-hat. Also, I tell people I usually take the same way that I do the hi-hat and I play it on the bell as well, on the right bell. crashing on the ride. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just that's a good, it's a good funky tip.
So much life you can get just from one cymbal.
Yeah,
It's crazy. What about your ghost notes? Tons of ghost notes happening on your snare, and that creates some really cool movement on there.
Of course.
What are some of your rules when you're playing that, or are there any?
Well, one thing that I use a lot, man, I was pretty big in high school in marching band, the whole military style of playing that we were doing, So I usually just use a lot of rudiments, man. One of the main ones I use, I'm sure people hear all the time, is like a paradiddle. It's the diddles, man. Barely hit it.
So a lot of the stuff you play like that's like a pretty standard, just paradiddle quarter note on the floor beat.
Right.
But it just sounds so good from you. How do you get there? How do you get from playing a paradiddle beat on your hi-hat and snare drum and bass drum to making it sound as funky as that? Like it's if you know what I mean.
Well, yeah. It's dynamics. To me, it's dynamics. It's easy to do. It's easy to do it that way. That's how you would do it normally. But to add dynamics it's a feel thing. You know what I'm saying? You have to kind of just let your body be relaxed. You know what I'm saying? It's like. This makes sense caring, but you're not caring. It's like
I like that.
You care, but you don't care.
Care, but you don't care.
You know what I'm saying? You know what it is. Just let it come out. You care, but you don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like as long as I hit that initial point, the one, because I hit that, I let these other diddles just come out. Here's the trick, the snare. You gotta let that hit and that diddle go. Let that diddle go, That way,
Totally.
Look at you. You know what I'm saying?
Totally, man.
For sure.
Let's get you to play us another song.
For sure, I'm with that.
Yeah, I've been just sitting here bobbing my head, just listening to you play. I just want you to play a tune now. This is a song called Roller Coaster.
For sure.
By Emmy Seacrest.
Emmy Seacrest. It's a new song I just produced. Just put it out like a week or two ago. Yeah.
So you produced the song as well?
I'm a producer, yeah.
No
so
kidding.
I do all the music in there, so I like to play it what I produced.
So you play other instruments, you're a producer, drummer, touring with Stevie Wonder, you got it all, man.
Hey, man, I'm trying to do it all.
All right. Well, guys, while Stanley's playing Roller Coaster, some of your questions, we'll try to get to as many as we can. If not, we'll get to them tomorrow. And ready to roll?
Let's do it, man.
All right. Whenever you're ready there, Kyle.
Awesome.
What's the record called?
Roller Coaster, MEC Chris.
There you go. Check it out.
Check it out. Check it out.
Awesome, man. So while you were playing that, did anything else last minute come up? Tips and tricks that you can share before we get into the questions? I mean, I'm sure you're just loaded with them, but...
yeah, but you know what? I'll save them for tomorrow.
Good call. Good call.
I'll save them for
Save them for tomorrow. We are doing a Q&A with Stanley tomorrow for Edge members at 3 p.m. All right, so a couple questions from the members watching right now, and then we'll get you to play us out. Cool? All right, this one here is from 5-7 to Heaven. Says, hey, Stanley, I love your feel for funk. Any tips on when to play funk grooves with one hand versus two hands on the hi-hat?
Ooh. I usually teaching using hi-hat patterns, it depends on the song. Usually if I'm on the verse, I tend to try to keep the hi-hat pattern simpler, where I would probably only use one hand, like the guy said, you know. And usually, if we're going to like a hook, you know, something that's a little more active, you know what I'm saying? The hook is a little more pushing. Yeah. I use two hands, like.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right, that makes sense. Hope that helps 5-7 to Heaven. Okay, here's one from Larry Rice, good member of ours. Larry says, I've heard Stevie likes to play drums, and I wonder, no pun intended, if when he lays a new song, do you have free reign to do your own thing, or does he tell you kind of what to do?
With who?
Stevie.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's both, you know. It's he give us freedom to create, you know what I'm saying, be who we are, but at the same time we still pay respect to the music, you know. So I would still learn the original part, you know what I'm saying, the original part, what it is, what was recorded, because it was recorded for a reason, it was a moment, and people, you know, dance to that moment. That's what I'm about, making everybody dance, feel good, you know.
Yeah.
So of course I would learn the original part, but I would still add a little bit of me.
Yeah.
You know, a little bit of me is the feel of it, the sound of it, the feels I decide to do, the accents I decide to do, you know. I listen to the lyrics, play off the lyrics, you know.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
This one is from Phil Aitken. Says, how would you recommend going about incorporating the funk groove into like rock or church music to spice it up?
The funk groove to rock or church music.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. If someone called me to do a church gig, you know, if someone called me to do a church gig, I would just play it how I would play it.
Yeah.
I would play it funky, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel as if, like, if you're confident in what you're playing, you know, if you're confident in what you're playing and you're laying it down and you know how to, you know, play it with the bass player, the keyboard player, you can play whatever style you want.
Yeah.
You just got to know what you're doing.
I think that's,
you know what I'm saying?
Just know what you're doing.
Know what you're doing. To incorporate, you know, to put it in there, you just have to do it, man. You have to try it. I'm a risk taker. I'll just try it. I'll try a different groove. I'll put it in there.
Yeah.
You know, I'll make it work. If it doesn't feel good at the top, I'll figure it out. You know.
Yeah.
It's all about figuring it out for sure. I would say just try it, man. Just go to church and play some. You know, go to a rock gig and add some funk. Man. Just try it.
Yeah,
be creative.
Danny B says, hey, Stanley, what kind of workout did you do to get such good kick drum control on those multiple consecutive strokes? And do you have any recommendations for pedal settings? He also uses the DW9000.
Now, my pedals, I'm a heavy guy. I have a heavy foot. I have, can they see on the pedals down here? Cool. I have two weights, a weight up here and a weight in the middle to make the pedal heavy. Also, my spring action is back pretty far, you know? I like to be able to land into the kick drum. Also, I don't have my bass drum at a tilt. I don't tilt my bass drum. I like to play into the head. I would play into the head. And the exercise that I would do before I was doing the whole, what I would do, man, sometimes I would go to my practice room and I would just sit there. And I would just do that, you know, over and over until I got control of it. Control over it, you know. In marching band, when you messed up, if we're doing a show or something and you messed up, that next rehearsal, you were going to be in the corner playing that part for 30, 45 minutes nonstop, you know, until your muscles hurt, you know. Whatever. Yeah. So I kind of took that discipline as far as practicing. So I would just sit there and do stuff for a while. I would do it for like 20, 30 minutes, just sit there and do it. Until I could control it on my own. So yeah, man, just practice it. Practice it, man, you know.
Totally. And you know that if you guys didn't hear what he was saying while he was playing, he just said you just sit down 20, 30 minutes. Just
20, 30 minutes, yes.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah. A lot of people are asking this. I wonder if you can kind of shed some light on there. Can you talk about how you got the gig with Stevie Wonder and also how you learned his full catalog of music?
Well, how I learned the full catalog of music, I remember they gave me his music. The way I got the gig, I'll start from there.
Sure, yeah.
There was Teddy Campbell, everybody knows Teddy Campbell, and Chris Johnson. They both were doing the gig before I came. Mm-hmm. And I got a call from Chris Johnson or Teddy? Chris Johnson, I believe, asking me to come down to the studio. He didn't tell me what it was for or anything. He just told me to come down to the studio. So I came to the studio, sat there, I was sitting in the seat, and there was this door to the right, and the door opens up, and in walks Stevie Wonder. I'm like, whoa, there goes Stevie Wonder. Wonderworld.
No kidding.
Stevie Wonder. Walks to the door, you know, he goes to the back, and then Chris texts me to the back. He was like, yeah, man, I want you to see if you could do this gig with Stevie Wonder, man. Audition for him, you know, vibe with the guy. So I met him, and we sat down in his studio, and literally for like 2 hours, we just jammed.
Yeah.
Just jammed, man. And it was awesome because it was just like you played the kit that was on the recording, on the record, you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So it was the original tones,
no kidding.
The original crashes and rides, like you've been hearing.
Yeah.
These are the Grammy-winning drums right here.
No doubt.
So actually to play those, man, it just felt amazing. I felt at home.
Yeah.
So we played, man, we jammed for 2 hours. And he was like, oh, man, yeah, you got the gig, man. He said, man, just play, man. And he would tell me, you know, one thing, if you make a mistake, play it loud. Act like it's meant to be there. Yeah. Just be comfortable with what you're doing.
No kidding.
You know what I'm saying? So got the gig, and then they gave me all this music to learn. It was like 100-something, 200 songs maybe, something like that. All his music, it's a lot. He has a lot of music.
No doubt, yeah, he does, yeah.
You know, and they said learn as much as you can.
Yeah.
And I went and I saw Chris play the show a few times.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, he was just like, pass me the ball. I was in there, you know, and it was like,
and that's
show
it.
up. Yeah.
9 years later.
9 years later. And over time, I've just developed my sound and, you know, I've made the gig my own.
Yeah.
You know, just from being there so much. And I remember I studied his music and I used to play all the music a certain way.
Yeah.
Only this side of the kit. And then before I knew it, Greg Philliganes came to do this tour with us, and he was like, yeah, man, I want to keep it authentic. And I was like, man, you're right, man. I'm taking the heads off my toms. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's how the drum set at the studio is. I'm taking the heads off my toms. I'm going all the way. So, yeah, I just took this style, man, incorporated it to my sound.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right, we'll get to one last question. We just talked about the kick pedal here. All right, this last one, and then we'll get to you playing us out. This one's from JRRD. He says, hello, Stanley. How do I go from being a pocket player to a person who can play with chops? It's a pretty big question, but maybe if you can share an insight or two.
Now, one thing, how can you go from being a pocket player to a person with chops? A person with chops. Let's see. I guess it depends on what kind of chops you're trying to do, you know?
Sure, yeah.
I can show you one exercise that I do. It's a very simple exercise, man. My whole thing about chops is I love the combinations. That it's so many great drummers, new up-and-coming drummers now these days. You know, I love the combinations, and I love how clean it is. So my thing about chops is it always has to be clean. I do an exercise where I just do something as simple. I start off very simple like this. I add dynamics, you know, to the way you know. And I add, you know, other triplet stuff I learned from Margin. You know, stuff that's like it's combinations.
Yeah.
So a lot of chops that I do is all rudiments, you know, it's stuff together that, you know, it feels good.
Yeah.
So I would say practice a lot of rudiments, man, and take them to the drums. Start off with a pad. Go through some rudiments that you learn, some flat stuff, you know, and apply it to the drums.
Yeah.
You know?
Cool.
Awesome.
Well, we'll leave it there, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
It's been a treat having you out.
Thank you.
And you're always welcome here. And for all you guys watching, tomorrow we're going to do a big Q&A with Stanley at 3 p.m. Pacific time.
3 p.m.
3 p.m. We're also going to be filming a course all on funk with Stanley. It's going to be absolutely unreal. And it's only going to be available for Edge members. And if you want to sign up, just go to drumeo.com. And if you want a free 30-day trial, go to drumeo.com/trial. Huge thanks to Game Representation, Gary Stanionis, for bringing Stanley out. You're the man, Gary. Thank you so much, brother. Okay, so what song are you going to play us out with?
I'm going to play a song from my band, my homies, New Genesis. We recreated this song, man, 2004.
Wow.
2005. And it's just one of my favorite fusion songs that we do. I've added some different spins to it now.
Cool.
I like to make it a little more funky. I used to be so fusion with it, but I'm going to make it a little more funky this time around. So
what's the song called?
It's called Timeline.
Timeline.
Yeah.
By New Genesis.
By New Genesis.
Thanks again, Stanley.
Awesome.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, man.
See you guys all later. Enjoy.
Thank you, guys.
We'll see you online.